Hello, this is Yugioh here. Today I want to do a ban list prediction. I will not talk about any cards that are currently banned. So I'm not going to talk about any cards that could come off the banned section in the ban list. I'm just going to talk about cards that are currently legal that you can play with, and whether I think those cards should be banned, limited, semi-limited, unlimited, or if they should remain untouched, right? They also have a section here for untouched. So just because you see the card art right here on the bottom doesn't mean that I want it to get hit. So this is, I feel like Konami, if you're listening to me, I feel like this is the way to go. So yeah, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. But yeah, let's get started. So right off the back, we're going to talk about Anti-Spell Fragrance. About every single deck that's currently playable right now has a spell card, a normal spell card that is a consistency spell, whether it be like Reinforcements of the Army, Bonfire, you name it, right? It's a normal spell that basically this card turns off. So it basically turns off consistency. And let's not even talk about board breakers. So your chance of breaking a board goes to 0. If you have something like a Lightning Storm, Feather Dust, or anything like that, goes to 0 with this card. This card ruins consistency. It ruins your chances to make a comeback. So I think this card should absolutely be banned. This card is insane. I don't know how it's still legal. It's literally another Imperial Order, right? So Skill Drain, I don't think is as crazy as Anti-Spell Fragrance, because you can at least, you know, use some of your spells on it. But yeah, Skill Drain is a problematic card also, especially because Snake Eyes playing it. Do I think it should be banned is the real question. I don't think so. I don't think it should be banned. If anything, it helps like control decks, stuff like Runic Stun, right? Like, sure, I don't enjoy playing Runic Stun. I don't enjoy playing that. I don't enjoy playing against it. But I mean, those decks haven't seen much success, right? So I don't think Skill Drain should be hit. If I'm being honest, I don't think so. Especially if we ban Anti-Spell Fragrance, you have a lot more ways to get rid of it. Pot of Prosperity, a lot of people always say, oh, Pot of Prosperity should be limited, semi-limited cards, insane, can help you dig through your deck. Well, guess what? Not every deck is Snake Eyes. Not every deck is Centurion that can play so many 1-card starters. Some decks require 2-card starters, 3-card starters. Some decks are just not that consistent, right? They need that extra boost of consistency, and that's where Pot of Prosperity can come in useful, right? Like, just because your deck that can play 15 1-card starters doesn't need this and thinks this card is busted, doesn't mean that the underdog that needs consistency cards can't play this, right? So I don't think this card should be hit. A lot of decks that struggle with consistency really love this card for that reason, right? So now Princess is a problem, don't get me wrong. Princess is like almost like Elf, and is an interruption plus a body, plus is a link 3 that you can link off the same turn that you summon it. This card's insane, right? This card's insane. Do I think it's gonna get hit on the ban list? I don't think so. I don't think so, especially because it's so new. I mean, eventually this card, come on, this card is insane, right? Like, we can all see it get hit in one way or another, but as of right now, I think that it's not gonna get hit, right? So don't worry, fire decks, you're still gonna be able to play your Princess. Now, King Calamity, on the other hand, this card is old. It's been around for a while. Konami does not need to protect this card anymore. This card is used in Centurion. People are gonna use it on Whitewoods. I mean, some other decks, TGs can make this card. Synchron can make this card. I mean, this card is just not fun to play against, honestly. It's just not fun, right? Manadium can play this card. It's basically like Calamity, the one that's currently banned. Like, you can't do anything against it, right? So I don't think anybody has a reason to keep this card legal in the ban list. It's just not fun to play against this card. Also, another card that's annoying, Sanctifier. This card is insane. You may be wondering, but isn't Gimmick Puppet the problem? No, it's not, right? Because if Gimmick Puppet gets banned, guess what? People are gonna be playing Jowen. People are gonna be playing the Ross Disciple. I mean, you name it. It's just the cards keep going and keep going. So it's kind of like another Halki Fibrax problem, where is the tuner the problem, or is it Halki Fibrax the problem? The answer is Halki Fibrax. Same reason here. Sanctifier needs to go. especially when people play Lost plus this. Oh, it gets a little bit annoying, right? Because then you can't even respond when they set the branded in red. So card is pretty insane. So now IP Mascarena is another card that I see on a lot of people's banned section, right? People are like, man, IP Mascarena into SP Little Knight is a broken combo. And it is, don't get me wrong. It does have a lot of weaknesses, though. It loses to Imperm, loses to Dark Ruler No More, Droplet, you name it, right? It has a lot of weaknesses. Ghost Ogre. So do I think this card is a problem? No, I think right now in the current format it's a problem only because of Snake Eye. But I'll get to that, don't worry. I'll get to how we can fix this problem, okay? Before you start throwing stones, or before you hit that dislike button like, oh, Yara doesn't understand the meta. No, I play the meta. I play the current meta a lot, actually. So IP Mascarena is not the problem, so I think it shouldn't get hit. I don't think so. And you can put Apollousa in here as well. I just forgot to put Apollousa. I just don't think Apollousa deserves to get hit. It's not the problem. Has a lot of counters. Same thing, right? Imperm, Ghost Ogre, Dark Ruler No More, Droplet, you name it. So now here's an actual problem right here, because if we hit Snake Eyes, they're just gonna go back to playing Omega Loop with Dissipator. So not only that, decks like Lightsworn play Omega Loop plus Dissipator. Six Samurai is another deck that's gonna become popular. They're gonna Omega Loop again, Omega Loop. So yeah, I don't think Omega. I love Omega. Don't get me wrong. I love Omega. Omega is an amazing card. Not a once per turn. Can shuffle stuff in the graveyard. Card is insane. But I honestly do think this card deserves a ban. It just enables so many degenerate strategies. I used to play this in Infernoble back when he sold it was legal. Just loop cards from the opponent's hand. But it's also when Aurora Dawn was legal. So yeah, this card is just not healthy. Honestly, it's just not healthy. Konami should print another card that has the same effect, that you can shuffle stuff from the graveyard. That way you can send it off of your Nadir Servant or something like that. So yeah, that this card is just not healthy for the game, right? So you might be wondering, why is Gamma here? Well, if in case you're wondering, we're about to enter an FTK format with Gimmick Puppet, with Six Samurais, Branded if he doesn't get hit. Branded is another FTK deck. Like so many FTK decks, we need some help going second. And I think Gamma coming back to 3 will help a lot, especially because Baron is banned, so you can't go into Baron if you summon Driver plus Gamma. Omega, I want Omega to be hit, of course, because otherwise you can just go Omega and rip another card from the opponent's hand. No, Omega needs to be banned in order for Gamma to come back to 3. So I think that this will help in an FTK format that we're about to enter. So I do think Gamma should come back to 3. Honestly, I really do think Gamma should come back to 3. Now we're gonna talk about I'll get to this real quick. So we're gonna talk about Runic Fountain. Okay, Runic is one of those decks. Like, sure, I was talking about Runic Stun a little bit ago, but yeah, Runic is just one of those degenerate decks. I just like to deck people out, play some degenerate strategies. I think this should be hit at least to 1 limit. Yeah. I mean, everybody's been wanting some Runic stuff to get hit for a while now, and I think just Fountain going 2-1 would help out a lot, because that would make it so that they lose hard to something like Cosmic Cyclone. They're really gonna need to protect it. So, but I think that's the only hit that needs to be made. I don't think anything else needs to be touched. With Fountain to 1, I think balance will be made, right? So now the moment everybody's been waiting for, right? Yara, are you finally gonna talk about Snake Eye? And the answer to that is not yet. I'm gonna talk about Beatrice first. Okay, so Beatrice, yeah, another ban. Being able to send the Mayakashi Trap plus Transaction Rollback, not a fair combo, right? It's literally another FTK. We're talking about FTKs. That is another FTK, right? You skip your opponent's turn, and then it comes back to you, and you just OTK your opponent, right? So I don't think 2 level 6s, especially with the Fiendsmith stuff coming out. I don't think 2 level 6s should give you an FTK. That's just my opinion, bro. Just 2 level 6s FTK doesn't make sense. And sure, you're like, wait, what if they ban transaction rollback? What if they ban my Akashi? There's so many things that you can send, right? So I don't think they're gonna touch transaction rollback. I mean, Beatrice, for the longest, people have been wanting this card to get banned, and I played this card myself. I played in Virtual World, right? Being able to send something like Banshee, so you can set up Zombie World. Being able to send the shufflers like Medora, Keldo, you know, just being able to send basically whatever you need, right? So this card is insane. I don't think 2 level 6s should give you that much power. So absolutely needs to be banned, especially with, like I said, Fiendsmith stuff coming out. So now the moment we've all been waiting for, Jada, how are you going to touch the Snake Eye deck? So here's what I propose, right? Here's what I propose, but please listen to the whole argument before you start to judge me. Okay, so first of all, I think we need to touch this deck in 2 layers, right? In consistency and also how hard it can scale, right? So consistency, I think we should limit the wanted, right? This card's insane. It's a 1 card starter plus, 1 card starter. You still need to discard something with the Witch, but it's technically a 1 card starter, right? Like if you open this plus hand traps, you're in there, right? So to lower consistency, this can give you the Witch plus it gives you a draw, right? So and Snake Eye Ash, another consistency hit. You know, opening Snake Eye Ash is full combo, right? Just full combo. And if they only have 1, it's gonna be hard for them to like get another one back to hand. By when Flame Birch gets sent during their turn, they're not gonna be able to get one to hand, right? So unless they set something up like a Sunlight Wolf or something along those lines, or they added it back the previous turn. But just some consistency hit. And the card that I don't see much people talk about is Divine Temple. I think this card should actually get banned. So now hear me out before you tell me like, Yada, what are you talking about? Divine Temple, really, Yada? Well, the main reason why I want Divine Temple to get hit is because 1 is a consistency card, right? Like it's consistency, right? Like if you open this plus like any other Snake Eye card, you're in there, right? Because then you can send it, like you can set up like a Poplar, you can set up a Snake Eye Ash, you can set up an Oak or a Flame Birch or Snake Eye Bellstar. Like you have so many options, right? So it's technically like another Rhoda. I know it by itself is not a 1 card starter, but it is a consistency boost. But the main reason why I want this card to be banned is because it lowers the way that you can beat this deck, right? So Nibiru would be super effective against this deck if this card was not around, because this card, if you didn't know, it can help you play around Nibiru, right? You can set up a Flame Birch on the Spell and Trap card zone with either Poplar or with this, and then you just keep comboing off. And if at any time your opponent like Nibiru's you just summon Flame Birch, Spell and Trap card zone, the Nibiru, combo off, you keep comboing off, right? So I do, and if they asked you at any point, you can make, you know, the Fire Charmer, then you can go into Princess, and yeah. So it helps you beat Nibiru, but more importantly, it helps you beat stuff like Dark Ruler No More and Droplet, cards like that, right? So, like, let me give you another example. Right? Let's say your opponent set up the whole board without Divine Temple. What happens then? You just Dark Ruler No More them. And what are they gonna do there, right? So, Apollousa's dead, IP Mascarena is dead, Flame Birch is dead, everything is dead. SP Little Knight is dead, in case they end up with that for some reason. It's all dead, right? But let's look at the same scenario. They have full board plus Divine Temple, right? So you Dark Ruler No More them. Okay, Apollousa loses his counters. Flame Birch won't be able to special summon the IP Mascarena that's on the Spell and Trap card zone. Then you normal summon something out, Divine Temple, special summon that IP Mascarena going to SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight banishes. You get 2 bodies of a Flame Birch. You get follow up. Now you have another interruption with IP Mascarena with SP Little Knight. So it can get out of hand pretty quickly, right? Like you see how those two scenarios where one you beat it with Droplet or Dark Gula no more, and the other one, or Imperm, right? Like if you top deck Imperm, and the other scenario, you lose because your opponent has Divine Temple, right? It can help you play through Nibiru, Dark Gula no more, Droplet, so many cards. So I feel like without this card, Snake Eye would lose so much ground. So that's how I think this deck should be hit, with consistency and the power scaling. But let me know what you guys think on the comments below. But anyways, guys, this was Yara here, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.